Hi, welcome to Shape Language. I'm your host, Alvin Lee, and with me I have two amazing artists. I have Esmond Rasmussen, senior artist at Riot Games, and also Moe Franke, art director at Theorycraft. Together we have a ton of art experience, so let's look at some art. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
First piece.
Oh, I know this.
yes.
Yeah.
This piece is called 5,000 Days,
5,000
and it's by Beeple,
Yeah.
and it sold
you're
for
not-
69 million.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah,
But it was in FTs.
in
right?
Ethereum, yeah.
Yeah, NFTs.
NFT, yeah.
Yep.
Non-fungible token is what it's called. For the viewers who don't know, it's essentially a digital receipt for an piece of art, kind of authenticates it and then gives it like ownership.
Just for context, and I remember seeing this in the news, but
Yeah,
it's pretty much, it's all of this one artist's kind of work on a single page. Is that correct?
yes, basically that's why it's called 5,000 Days.
All right.
It's essentially like all of his collected works. So it's basically,
Pretty
it's like his magnus opus, you know what I mean? He posts like a new piece every day for like the past 13 years, but 69 is a lot though.
It is, but it's also like, I know it was kind of like the first wave of NFTs too, of like Beeple was the guy who's like
For digital art anyways, yeah.
to really bring that in. So, you know, like it's like I guess it would be the contemporary Mona Lisa of digital art, you know. It's a really exciting kind of future, and to see that we can go in that sort of direction in a digital world.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's very exciting for people like us, especially because we work digitally. And now there's another avenue to actually sell that PSD that we have, you know what I mean? Whereas before it just sat in our hard drives. But I did see this one video though of this guy buying an original Banksy and then lighting it on fire.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Saying that now the NFT is the only version of it that exists. And it actually worked. Like the NFT ended up going like 2 or 3-fold the value of what the original was.
But there is something also very beautiful about knowing that Leonardo touched this
Right.
canvas
Yeah.
and
It's true,
innovated
it's
at
true.
that time, you know.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at some actual art by Beeple, shall we?
Oh my God.
It's Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Love it.
A lot of his work is very politically driven, but also satirical, obviously. Oftentimes dystopian as well.
It is kind of lowbrow, but at the same time, I love lowbrow.
It is lowbrow, yeah, for sure.
Absolute, and I love this type of art.
Yeah, wearing a Pikachu helmet. It's so ridiculous,
It's so ridiculous.
but it very eye-catchy at the same time, you know?
Absolutely. Oh God.
This piece is called Meathead.
I think that would be part of
It's a good title.
It's good. He's got hamburgers for brains, apparently. Esmond, what you got on this one?
You know, I see a little bird that's like a symbol for Twitter.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that because
Yeah.
it's blending
Yeah.
into the sky.
Yeah,
but now-
exactly.
Yeah.
He did this in a day.
Yeah. He
good.
does one of these like every day. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a 3D, right? Like 3D
Yeah.
mixed with Photoshop.
But
Right,
he's still very good in 3D in order to pull that off. in a day.
Yeah. But cool thing is I include this.
That's when he's crying.
This is when he's watching
he
the
saw
auction
it,
live.
yeah.
Like if you go to his webpage, it's like I think his bio read something like, "I'm a shitty artist that's trying to improve every day," something like that.
Of course.
I like that.
all of
And then for him to react this way, it's like, you know what? Like, how can you not root for this guy?
Yeah.
After this sale, though, it makes him the third richest piece ever sold in an auction. Behind, like, I think Jeff Koons was one of them,
Yeah.
and then the other one was Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
There you go.
Totally worth it. Obviously.
It's cool. It's cool that we're making history like that.
Yeah. So, shall we move on to the next artist? shall we?
Next.
Yeah.
Scene.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Love it.
Zeen Chin is our next guest of honor.
He's amazing.
He's amazing.
Yes.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
It almost has this like it has like a matte finish to it.
Yeah.
Not shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
The use of blacks, like the darkest darks, are like are sophisticatedly placed.
It's a contrast between eerie, dark, grotesque, and beautiful,
Yeah.
Yep.
and kind of like fuses them. I would love to see a movie in this, like
Oh yeah.
like
yeah,
this
yeah.
sort of
Like a Miyazaki film, like
Oh yeah.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
Probably.
his color palette choices,
Ridiculous.
like his warm and cool contrast, and then not letting anything get too saturated except the focal, like her lipstick is the brightest red in the whole piece. You know?
Yeah. But the isolation of her face.
Yes.
He framed it quite nicely around her
Yeah.
head.
Oh,
as
absolutely.
well.
Yeah. And then the directional lines again, like we use the Pythagorean grid, right? Like there's the X, there's obviously the strong, very, very strong
Horizontal, yeah.
vertical as
Vertical,
well,
yeah.
right?
All right, next one. Perfect blend of pop surrealism and then mixed with like anime and, you know, horror.
Like the tactile quality of like the painting, the paint on like, you know, it almost looks like a wood,
Yeah.
like a peeling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but I know that that's all
Hand
painted.
exactly.
You know? So he has like
That is a brilliant little trick though. To go back in there and like put a little bit of cash shadow on your brushstrokes
absolutely
to give it like some thickness.
very innovative.
Amazing, yeah.
Very innovative.
I freaking love this one.
This one's one of my favorites.
The composition, everything's just flowing. It just flows so nice, so beautifully.
That squint test, you see the V shape coming down quickly, right? And then you see the blue, cool light hitting, and then there's this extremely warm pink that's underneath.
I saw like his process to this piece, and all he started with was that glowing red ball. So it was just like all gray, and then just the ball had like some red glow to it,
that
and
kind
that's
of
it.
just was able
And he
to-
was like bleed out from there, you know.
I actually own an original scene. Yeah.
Where
Oh,
did you
from
get
his
that?
like Inktober.
Inktober.
Oh,
my
shit!
God.
Well, on that note,
Hey.
let's
it
look
that
at
one?
the next piece.
It's not that one.
No,
But
damn.
it's from the same series. It's that one.
He's clearly like inspired by Katsuya Terada. He just put out a new book actually. It's Zeen Tober, I think it's
I
called.
saw it, yeah.
Support Zeen because like he deserves it. The next artist.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Oh,
Hey.
boy.
Piotr Jabłoński. Like I think any digital artist knows his work. Yes.
Absolutely.
I think so.
I just love his brushstroke.
The texture of the
Oh,
brush
absolutely.
stroke. Like if you analyze it from a technical standpoint, it's incredible. Like
Yeah.
really masterful.
The arm, for example, right? Look at how expressive that the finger gestures are. The way that like the hard and soft edges. He's not over rendering everything to a point where he's showing all the little details. It's just enough to give you that satisfaction.
The saturation of that gold on that wing is like clearly the brightest and most rich in the whole piece, you know? Like immediately I just see like a guy that's clearly like classically trained, you know?
Absolutely.
Next, this one like reminds me of Phil Hale actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
thinking the same
definitely.
thing.
I think in this one in particular, I think it's important to note the shape language, right? I know that's the name of the show, but like look how sharp that elbow is.
Yep.
The one that's raised up.
Yeah.
It's like so pointy.
Yeah, not really many rounded elements.
If there's one thing I can nitpick, it's like the boots look like they're floating.
I
I think he is floating.
I think he's floating. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's not standing.
Yeah. Well, maybe you could have pumped the
The
atmospheric
value-
perspective a little bit.
More atmospheric perspective.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my.
Oh my god. He did this piece for Wonder Woman. I think in Wonder Woman there's like a collage, right?
Yeah.
That tells the history of her world or something like that.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Rembrandt in a way.
Totally reminds of
I would
Rembrannt.
say like a goes
100%.
towards the older side of Rembrandt. You know,
Mhm.
like some of his later pieces where we would have more mass compositions.
The way it like, you know, you have the light bodies on top of like dark backgrounds, you know what I mean?
I personally could see that this would be in a museum somewhere.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Just get it printed out.
Right.
Just get it one.
Get an NFT.
One print.
Just one
And then
NFT of
burn it,
this
yeah.
and burn it.
But I'm the selfish one that wants that like oil painting that's like, you know,
I want an
20
oil
feet
painting of
by-
this. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Well,
I would like that too. I would like that too.
But this one is the one I really wanted to get to.
Okay.
Wow.
Is there any specific reason?
I just freaking love this piece so much. Like just because of, not only because it's beautifully painted, but just the composition.
Yeah.
The way he uses the black to focus your eye. And then from what I can tell, it doesn't look like a rule of thirds. It looks like it's further than that. I think he's using a golden rectangle actually. So it kind of spirals into the right over there.
I was thinking more of like it's an 80-20. You just don't want like 50-50 because it evens it out.
Well, on that note, I think we should go into our teaching moment. We're going to talk about no-ten. No-ten is like a Japanese saying for harmony and value.
Like you boil the picture down to its most simple and graphic statement, and you use two values. And if it's not working in your no-ten, then you will run into trouble when you start adding more elements into it.
Less is more in this situation, right?
Yeah. Lola, can you go that way a little bit, maybe?
No, nobody puts baby in the corner.
Okay, this is our next artist, and he is a little bit controversial, which is why I put it in here.
Okay.
His name is Greg Land, and this is a cover that he did recently.
This piece for me doesn't really say that it's controversial. Is it this piece that's controversial?
Yes it is.
Oh no.
Essentially, he traced it like one for one almost. The one on the right is by another artist. He ripped this artist like one for one.
Yeah.
That's a no-no. And maybe he had a deadline and he was like, oh shit, I've got to...
Like he literally traced.
I mean, the exact same pose. I mean,
everything.
That is
same
case.
proportions, same pose, same lighting convention.
Oh my
everything.
God. Yeah, no. That's
Literally a trace.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, I probably always come from the angle of compassion of like, okay, strike one, take it as a fair warning. We caught you this time, don't do it again.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying, how it's like one strike and you're out, right?
Yeah.
Greg has a history of doing this. You look at this piece, right? This is a cover by Greg Land. But then you go a little bit, you dig a little bit deeper. The artist that he's swiping from is called John Cassidy. Like that Wolverine, for example. It's like the same pose, all he did was turn the head.
Wow.
I was just trying to go in. Like,
I know.
You guys were going hard. I was like, gotta defend. Gotta have some balance in this.
Like one article I was reading, it was like, Greg Land gets accused of plagiarism. ... Again. You know what I mean?
I feel very sad for that person.
So.
But the person can draw. Like
he can draw, yeah.
He can draw,
He can draw clearly, but I don't know if it's like fear or laziness or whatever. I don't know.
It's probably fear.
Hard
it's
to
probably
say.
both.
Yeah, here's another example. This Sojourn cover.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay.
This is like tracing.
Yeah.
It's like there's no like I get being inspired by a piece, but literally like it's like
the necklace is great. I mean, it looks exactly like the necklace. If you look at it closely, it's the exact same necklace.
It's like the hand position, everything.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's hard to argue this one. Yeah, I mean this one it's blatant.
Don't plagiarize. It's just not worth it.
I think it's okay to use photo reference.
Absolutely.
But at least implement your own creativity to it, add some perspective.
Add your own sort of
flair, yeah.
flair to it.
Or take your own photo reference. Yeah, a lot of artists do that. I commend that because to take the time to shoot your own reference and then paint it, it takes a ton of effort and time.
Do take that like these are just like our opinions. Like,
I mean,
we don't want to be also like too hard. Essentially, it's just what
I mean. It's not like I want Greg Land to not work. Hopefully, this might shed some light on it a little bit. That's all.
Okay.
Last but definitely not least,
she's a wonderful artist.
We have Audrey Kawasaki. She went to Pratt Institute in New York for 2 years, dropped out of art school because her art teachers told her to not do her style anymore because she'll never succeed. Moved to Los Angeles and continued doing her own style. And now is one of the most famous like illustrators in the world.
Yeah, kind of up there like with James Jean.
Yeah, right up there. I mean, she's mentioned in the same breath, I would say.
Absolutely. I mean, she's been featured in Juxtapose and
High Fructose,
High Fructose and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the way that she does things is pretty unique as well. She paints acrylic and oil on wood.
It looks like one of those motifs on Japanese painting from the 14th, 15th century, 16th century.
So this is the only piece I've seen by her.
Okay, what's your opinion then? That's from Fresh Eyes.
It looks really good. I like the wood texture. I think that's like the first thing that kind of jumped out to me. I think it's very beautiful, very serene.
But I think you would like the fact that she uses a lot of oil, actually. Like, does her base painting in acrylic and then she finishes it with oil.
Of course.
Yeah.
For those out there, don't ever do oil and then acrylic on top. It's always the other way around. I would love to see her like kind of break out of like this accuracy.
Yeah, she uses a tiny brush too.
Absolutely. And I think
like a fine-haired brush, and just like little by little, you can kind of see it too. You know?
I would just love to see her like, just experiment with that a little bit more.
I love this one.
Oh, that's great.
It's just beautiful. Yeah.
Amazing.
Clearly, like, she's inspired by like Alphonse Mucha,
Yes.
like Art Deco as well.
Yep.
Mix that with a little bit of like pop surrealism and Mark Ryden big time, right? Like the spacing of the eyes and the proportion of the face.
Christina Ricci.
But I love this one. This one's just beautiful, and the grain of the wood yet again, like it just shines through.
Leonardo, right? Mona Lisa was painted on top of wood.
Oh, was it? Wow,
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
I think just her stuff just looks like it just sits on a wall really nicely.
Totally.
I like it. It's not my cup of tea normally, but I don't have anything against it. Like, I think it's really beautiful. It's really pretty. It's almost like a meditation when kind of doing it. Like I think
every stroke is very premeditated. Yeah.
it is like a subject matter that I think is seen many times. With it's like it's a female face, and then we got some nature in there, right?
If every single piece is going to be a female or a human with a thing, right, of a nature, like kind of.
Yeah, we're like it's basically saying, hey, surprise us, throw us a little bit of a curveball. Like we want to see a new move. Essentially.
Like, I mean, even James.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean.
That's fair. I mean, she kind of sticks into her own box and doesn't veer very far from it.
Yeah.
Which is fair too, because I mean that's her genre.
Yeah.
I agree.
Totally
Always challenge yourself to do something that's outside of your box.
Thanks all for watching. We're still new, so it would help a lot if you hit a like or subscribe. We really appreciate it. So thanks for watching.
Thank you.